Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and I'm coming at y'all with the fourth recap on games people play. So, y'all, it started off with Marcus and Vanessa actually trying to find a nanny for their daughter. They have a baby, and Vanessa eventually is trying to get some things going for herself, and she likes to leave and not have to be, vigilant about what's going on with her child at every single waking moment, which is expected of a parent anyway. But I'm just saying, if you have other things going on, you can't have your full focus on the child. So that's understandable. But anyway, y'all, they're looking at nannies. Y'all, the first two was doing the most and don't nobody have time. They were sitting up there. One of them was talking about how she does Pilates, or she is a Pilates instructor. And I was like, girl, if you don't go somewhere and sit down. Then the other one was talking about, yeah, I'd love to be a mother someday. And was talking and talking about like if the right situation were to come about. And then she crossed her legs and was trying to look seductive, kind of like, if your situation don't pan out. I'm like, girl, if you don't get somewhere and sit down. That's how people get shot, like for real. That is really how people get shot. Tell me why one of my friends today told me that a while back, and she's not sure if it's still current, but she said a while back, she heard that Oregon has some kind of law that said if you come home and your spouse is in bed with another person, you have the right to shoot, kill, wound, whatever, and not, have any charges come up on you for it. And I was like, wait a minute, what? For real? Ooh, that's crazy. I wonder if that's still valid, because that's crazy. Because that situation happens a whole lot to a lot of people. So, people get tired of their spirit. They don't want you to be sitting up here doing all that. And then you think it's cool. You think it's fine for you to just use somebody, make them think that you really here for them, but you're not. So, anyway. So, y'all don't mind me. I'm doing the most. It's getting hotter, so I like to have my hair up. And all that good stuff. So anyway, then some guy came in and they were interviewing him, and he had a nice little story. He seemed genuine. But of course, Marcus didn't want to hit it because, God forbid, some eye candy comes into play. And, she might not actually give in to anything. But, God forbid that she, has some eye candy around her. But he does the most all day, every day, y'all. I can't. So he was like, yeah, we'll let you know, bro. And like kind of, brushed him off while they were in the middle of actually talking. I'm like, sir, you're doing the least. So anyway, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm feeling for bobby pins. I ain't trying to have no more in here. I don't know if I'm gonna have my hair down or not tomorrow. Probably not, because I gotta do the most to get it up when I'm at work. But anyway, y'all, so they end up having someone they interview who is from El Salvador, and she came over like 26 years ago. She taught herself how to speak English and all that stuff, and she has done it all. She has worked hard. She has proven that she deserves to be here and that she really is a model citizen and all that good stuff. And so she was like, look, I can take care of your babies. I can do everything you need me to do. I can fix a car. I was like, girl, you could fix a car? Man. Vanessa paused for a second, right? Vanessa was like, when can you start? I was like, yes, girl, that's what I'm talking about. I would have said the same thing, like, excuse me, what? You could fix a car? Oh, okay. Girl, you're doing the most. So anyway, then it did a little intro and it came on. Y'all, so tell me why MJ was at Nia's place of residence, wherever she's living when she's away from her boyfriend, y'all. So apparently he has been waiting on her for like an hour and a half to appear from out of the house, from getting ready. And I was just like, why is he so upset? What's going on? And that's when we found out that he was waiting forever for her to come out the door, y'all. So I was like, oh Lord, what's going on with that? So he's in his feelings because he kind of feels like he wouldn't have to do a lot of the things that he's going to have to do in order to get a story now, since the other story was dead in the water after she, you know, basically was, you know, like, yeah, let me make up some things. That's my, you know, friend from college and my line sister. So, you know, I don't want to, you know, step on no toes. So apparently they are going to go to two separate places. He's going to go to some rehab situation. That's what I'm gonna say, rehab situation. And she's gonna go to some sort of doctor's office where they may or may not do illegal injections and butt jobs, breast jobs, or whatever. I'm not sure if it's some kind of expose or whatnot, but it might be. So anyway, she actually goes to that doctor's office and she went in. You know how you go in places, whether it's to a hair salon, to the places like where she's at, and you'll take a picture, be like, "Ooh, can you make my hair look like this? Can you make my nails look like this?" She had pictures of booties, breasts, and all kinds of other things. And so she was basically trying to get him to say, "Yeah, that's my work." But he would never say it. And so he was like, "Look, I can't give you what you want." And so she was like, "Oh, okay, well, thank you for your time." You know, she sounded, you know how she sounds. She sounded all, you know, kind of disappointed in the fact that he wasn't going to be able to give her the information that she wanted and needed, right? You know, not just wanted, she needs it. Because that woman actually has her out there to do a job. And that would have been an amazing story for her to cover. But, you know, her loyalty lies with her line sister. Let me stop. But yeah, y'all. So she was like, "Look, ain't got time for this." So she was about to get up and go. And so that's when he was like, "You know, I might be able to give you what you want, not what you need." And then they show her putting her clothes back on and going to a mirror, and she had those marks and stuff on her where they can tell you how they can contour your body and all this other stuff. And so she, you know, she seemed like she was not here for that. And I don't know. I think when you go to places like that, you either have, I don't think you do free consultations. I think you got to pay a little bit for their consultations. Well, I don't know. I think some places you do have to pay for the consultations or whatever. So I guess she was like, "Well, dang, I done paid for this. Let me see what he talking about." So yeah, she basically was like, this was some bull or whatever. So went on about her business. So Vanessa is at a vineyard with some of the basketball wives from her husband's team. And, you know, she's still trying to be, you know, friendly with them. Normally that's how it goes, apparently. I don't think I'd be able to do it. I don't like all that. I be on my own space. If I want to roll up, I want to roll up. If I don't, I don't. I don't want to have to feel like I'm obligated to do all these things to make everybody be like, oh, your wife did it. No, if y'all ask me to bake a cake or bring some cookies or something to one of y'all functions or like one of y'all baby showers or something, I'll do that and go on back to the house. But I don't know. I don't really be wanting to be all up in everybody's face and stuff like that all the time. I don't want to be seen all the time. So yeah, y'all. She's at the vineyard and they're talking and they're tasting wine. And I don't know if y'all know her or not, but I don't even know if they're together anymore. But y'all know King Karan. His girlfriend, what's her name? Simone. Is it Simone? But yeah, they had her on there. And of course, is it Angela? Vanessa Simmons, who seems to be like the head of all of them, like the president of the basketball wives club or whatever it is that they doing, y'all. But anyway, so they're there and they're talking and they're trying to get her input, you know, well, you know, to get her to talk in general at this moment. And so, you know, she was like, well, you know, yeah, I finally made it out, because apparently they invite her out to various things all the time and she turns it down. She has a baby, like their child is still in a stroller, like she's a baby. Well, not really. I think I saw her before. She is still small and don't nobody have time. And she didn't have help or anything like that. So she let them know that she now has a babysitter and she's gonna start soon. So she will be able to be around a little bit more. So they were happy to hear that. So then, they actually wanted to know what she looked like without really asking, like, oh, well, what she looked like though. And so she was like, it fits our lifestyle. I was like, girl, you tried it. But anyway, so it got to the point where one of the girls was saying that, she don't really have a problem with being a basketball wife, and basically the life that comes with it, the lifestyle. But her main issue is like the groupies. She was saying that the main thing she hates is when they go to Miami or somewhere like that. The groupies do the most. And she said it's so bad down there that when she goes and her husband is playing, she said the women even throw themselves at her. And so she was just like, okay, y'all doing too much. But yeah, y'all, I was like, Lord, this is really too much. Don't nobody have time. So she's, looking like, oh gosh, because her husband cheats day in and day out. So of course she's in her feelings because she doesn't know how it's really gonna be once he's hitting the road all the time. And I think prior to her being there in that moment, he actually is out of town right now or about to play a game out of town somewhere. So she probably already looking like, oh, he might be doing what he normally do. Ain't no telling. So MJ went to this place that was supposed to be kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous type meeting places. I was just like, so there was this lady that was there who you could tell was hosting it, and I was just like, okay. I mean, she was good, I don't know if she was just like con artist that somehow was able to secure a basement in somebody's church, whether it was hers for free, and she's charging people to show up for these services. Like, I don't know if he went to this place trying to get information about somebody in particular, or see if a football player or a basketball player or somebody famous was gonna be there or what, but I don't know. Anyway, he was in there. He wasn't bothered by nothing that was going on. These people were in there and they were listening to her. She seemed really genuine. Like, she had that mouthpiece. Like, she has motivational speaking down packed. So she was like, yeah, I see a new face in here. And it was all because he was on his phone and every single one of his push button notifications were going off for all forms of social media that he was on. And I was just like, bro, you was doing the most. You could have at least put it on silent, but y'all know MJ is extra. He did not care nothing about that. So once he realized that the woman was talking to him, he was like, oh, am I supposed to say something? And so, eventually he was like, look, I got a problem. My problem is this. And he was saying that it was the phone. And ever since he was a child, he always wanted to be on social media, always was obsessed about likes and all that other stuff. Then he got this text message or whatever from somebody asking, was he interested in going to some party on Friday? And he was like, yeah. So he got up and left. He was like, y'all, I'm still work in progress. I'm gone, bye. And I was like, bro, you was doing the most. So anyway, back to the vineyard. Vanessa is still at the vineyard with the people that are part of that basketball wives club association or whatever they want to say it is. And they are just there, and they have this guy who comes up who had been serving them the wine that they had been testing out throughout the day. And he came back and he was talking about how they were investing. And so Vanessa was like, oh, y'all invested in this? And so they eventually were like, well, I mean, we want you to be on board. We want you to be an investor as well. And so they were like, yeah, we're thinking of investing in this. And so she was like, oh no, I got to talk to my husband, Marcus, about that. And so she was like, one of the women, the woman who Vanessa Simmons is playing, she was like, oh, she has to, talk to her husband. She has to ask her husband about living her life. She was being shady. Y'all, so the guy wanted to know, have a final answer as to whether or not they were really on board with it or not. And so everybody said yes, and she eventually said yes too. So I was like, okay, do what you do. But let's see. So meaning Vanessa, is at home, and her husband apparently was out of town playing an away game, and so he came from wherever he was. He looked like he had his boxers or looked like he just got up or lounging around the house clothes. So they're talking, and he was like, well, how you doing? And so she was like, did you get my text message? And so he was like, what text message? And she was like, the one I sent you last night. And so he got to thinking about it, and he was like, are you talking about the long one? And I mean, y'all, it was a roundabout way that he was trying to go about all this, because he does not know what his wife sent him. Plain and simple. I don't care what nobody said. He don't know what text message she sent him, because he probably had all other kinds of people in his DMs and messaging him by text message. And I don't know what kind of phone he has, but yeah. So that might have been the reason why he doesn't know which one she's talking about. And he did what he always does and buttered her up and was like, I'm at home. I came home to be with my family. So whatever it is, I just want you to just tell me while I'm here face to face. I'm just like, you probably didn't even open the message. And if you did, you opened it just to have it be seen, and then went on about your business, talking to everybody else, paying all kinds of attention to everybody else. So anyway, like a fool, she fell for it, and she was like, I bought a winery. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. We got any more stuffed wings? And went in the refrigerator to see if they had some leftover stuffed wings. And so she was like, that's it? That's your only response? And so she was basically like in her feelings, so to speak, because he didn't have any type of excited or intrigued or whatever response to her saying that she has a winery. She told him, like, look, it's not just me by myself. Some of the other ladies that are basketball wives are also investing in this, and so this is a thing or whatever. And so, he was like, I'm happy for you. And so she was like, are you really happy for me? And so he was like, yeah. And so she, just was like, I don't feel like you are, because when you got drafted, I was really, really happy for you and whatever, y'all. And I'm just like, go somewhere, sit down. So anyway, the babysitter doesn't start until tomorrow. So she was like, look, I'm gonna go for a run. So he was like, are you mad, baby? And she was like, no. And so while she was on her way out the door, he was like, well, who's gonna watch, what's her name, Deja, their baby? And so she was like, you are, and went on about her business. So anyway, his friend came over, and what's his name? Hakeem, y'all. He came over, and apparently they went out walking with the baby, just walking up and down the block or whatever, just to get out of the house. And so his friend is expressing to him how excited he is and how happy he is and how everything is going with him and his ex. And I guess their relationship is complicated because it's supposed to be your ex, but I mean, y'all are acting like more, even though y'all are, having sex like rabbits. It's like, what's going on? Y'all need to define it. Y'all need to do something, because I don't understand what's supposed to really be going on here. So, while they were in the middle of talking, or really his friend talking to him, Marlo Hampton and Tiny, Tamika, Tiny, Cottle, hyphen, or whatever she want to say, Harris, T.I., his wife, they rolled up on him and was like, are you Marcus King? And so he was like, yeah, he had this big cheese and smile on his face. So pause for a second on that. Y'all, side note. Again, as I mentioned before, that guy who was playing Marcus was in Insecure. Now, if I don't know if y'all saw him on that, but y'all need to go back and look or find some pictures of before he was in this show. But his teeth were crip walking or doing some, I don't know if there was chips. I think they were crip walking or something in the front or something. I was just like, what is going on? And to be honest, everybody lives or lived when they saw him on there for him. And I'm just like, y'all basically live for him because he light skinned. Because he ain't, like, to me, he's not fine. Like, I mean, maybe I can't see, I do wear glasses, but at the same time, my prescription is very current. It's where it needs to be. So I don't understand that. Almost everybody who says he is fine, they say that people like Lil Wayne fine too, and we all know that's a whole gremlin out here. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't understand what's going on with y'all, but that's a whole gremlin over there. So anyway, y'all, his teeth, y'all look him up. If I think about it, or if I can, I'm gonna insert a picture of him. If I can think about it, if I remember, while I'm doing whatever I'm gonna do to this, y'all, because I cannot. Y'all, so anyway, he was cheesing from ear to ear when he saw them, and Marlo wanted to take a picture with him, and so him and Tiny took a picture with him. They're not playing themselves, they're just playing random heifers that live in the neighborhood or whatever, groupies. And Marlo did the most. She lifted up her shirt, and apparently, like, no bra, like, lifted up her shirt and was cheesing. And it's like, girl, why you lifting your shirt up to take a picture with somebody out on the street in a neighborhood? Girl, why? But anyway, that's what she was doing. And see, he didn't know, and his friend was taking the picture, so he was like, and so he started taking pictures. He was being perverted and took the pictures or whatever. So he tried to play it off like he didn't have his phone, Marcus. And so he was like, well, I ain't got my phone. Because Marlo was like, I want you to have my number. And he was like, well, I ain't got my phone. And so he was like, look, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to take your number down in my friend's phone. And I'm going to have him to send it to my phone. And so she was just like adamant about it. She was like, make sure you do that because I need to hear from you and all this other stuff. Doing the most. Then even she was extra when she walked away. She acted like she had, like her leg was hurt or something and bent all the way over. I was like, girl, if you don't get somewhere and sit down. So anyway, the investigator is following him and all that. And then there's somebody following the investigator. So I'm like, what is going on? What is really, it looked like somebody following the investigator too. So I'm like, of course, the investigator is trying to figure out if Marcus is going to slip up and he's going to find some evidence that's going to point into his direction or his wife's direction to show and prove that they were the ones who killed that cheerleader. So I don't know what's going on here, but somebody following him too. So we'll see. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but Layla is getting sprayed down with paint in an effort to essentially go to Slut Walk. And for those of you who don't know what Slut Walk is, it's something that Amber Rose, I guess, and Black China came up with because they were tired of people, whether it's men and women, who actually, do it and sit up there, and because somebody's wearing clothes, I don't know what in the world is going on. Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I had the hiccups. I'm terrible. I got the hiccups. Holla if you hear me, y'all. But anyway, I'm being silly. So anyway, they're doing Slut Walk, and Slut Walk is when men and women are against other men and women who want to shame them because they are wearing certain clothing and all that, or they look a certain way. They feel like, oh, well, it's time to say you're a slut because you have this outfit on. You shouldn't have wore this. It's like, who are you to say what somebody can wear? So, I mean, and, you know, a lot of people attend events like that because they have been through situations where people said, oh, you dress like a hoe, so I'm about to treat you like a hoe. Or, you ain't had no business wearing this, so what I'm going to do is force my way in on you and do what I want to do with you, have my way with you. You deserve to be raped because you have an outfit on. It's like, what? So anyway, Susie Q is painting Layla, And whatever, y'all, I ain't gonna go into that. But anyway, eventually she has this paint on. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen this, but I've seen where these two women, they literally paint, not spray paint. They paint themselves to make it look like they have on yoga pants and the little top that go with it, and they'll go in the gym or they'll walk down the street and they'll try to see if anybody realizes that they're naked. Basically, they only have on like pasties and like maybe like G-string or something to kind of hide their private area, so to speak. But other than that, they are naked. And most people don't even realize that they are naked like that. So anyway, that's essentially what they were doing. Well, what she was doing. Y'all, anyway, they get to the slut walk. Everybody's doing what they always do. From what we actually see on the TV and through social media, how the slut walk goes. A lot of people come, they have their signs, and they talk about how, you know, about their body and their booty and all this other stuff. So people are out there with their signs, and it's almost like gay pride. Like there are people everywhere dressed any type of way. Everybody is happy or whatever. So there's this woman who gets on stage and she is doing a speech, and she was saying that you're innocent, and if all of these things have happened to you, you are not the problem. They are. You're innocent. So she kept saying all this stuff, and then it got to the point where Layla was in her feelings because apparently something has happened to her, and it was so bad that the woman came up off the stage after everybody else was going on about their business and continuing on with the celebration of the slut walk. And she, you know, came over to her and Susie Q and took her and was like, I got you. So I was like, girl, what in the world? Then took her. Y'all. So tell me why Nia met up with her ex. I think his name is Terrence. And, you know, he was supposed to have some information that he was going to gather for her friend, Vanessa. Trying to get some information, you know, just in case some stuff got to go down or whatever. And he got information, and he was like, you know, this is something I could have told you over the phone. And she was like, yeah, it is. So he was like, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go. So he was about to leave, and he was like, you know, if there's anything else you need, let me know. And so she was like, well, actually there is. So they go to the next scene, which actually is still within the same scene, and they show a random couple, like kind of jogging through the neighborhood. But we hear them speaking, and it's sounding like something inappropriate is about to happen, and I'm just like, what is going on here? But come to find out, he is supposed to be teaching her to drive, because that's essentially why she doesn't drive, because she doesn't know how to drive. But y'all, it still is taking a literal turn for the worst, and crazy rather, because he's trying to tell her what she needs to do because she has the car in park, and he's telling her to put the car in drive, and she was like, is this the D? And had her hand on some random part of the car, like it looked like the center console, some part right there. There was no stick or anything right there. And he was like, no, this is the D. And put her hand on his lap. And then they started making out. And I was like, okay, somebody got to be dreaming, because ain't nobody got no time for this. But apparently that's what happened. She was daydreaming while she was really sitting in the car. And she was really having a moment. And so he had to ask her, was she all right? And he was like, you know, you got to pull out. Because she was like, can we go faster? He was like, yeah, we can. But, you know, you got to pull out first. And so she was like, what? And like she kind of snapped out of her daze. I was like, girl, you doing the most. So Marcus is at home playing on his basketball court with his friend. And they're playing horse. I ain't played horse since I was a child. I know people still did that, but I mean, I guess. But they're playing horse, and they eventually start talking about the boy Lewis, that the guy Jamal, I think is what his name was, is trying to hustle and get, you know, his talents to work for him once he actually, you know, goes pro and all that stuff. Because I think the boy's in high school right now. So anyway, he was telling him how great he is, and he basically is how he was, but better. And he is coming up and gonna be doing Marcus's, you know, position and all that stuff. Like, he's doing well. So he was like, better look out. He was like, well, that's Horace. And so Marcus was like, that's Horace. Ain't you tired of getting beat? And he was like, man, no, I ain't tired. I gotta start keeping up with these younger guys or whatever. So that's when he was talking about Lewis and all that. And so he was like, look, man, I gotta go. I'm going to this pop-up to get some shoes. He was like, you ready to go? He was like, man, I gotta stay here and keep working on this. And so he was like, really? You turning out free shoes? He was like, no, man. He was like, you know my size? He was like, 12. He was like, yeah, so give me some. So he went on about his business while he was still there, playing basketball, trying to, get his shot game how it needs to be. Because he used to be better than Marcus before his injury. That's the sad part. Like, he was the one that everybody had their eyes on. Nobody was looking at Marcus's direction. So Marcus is lucky. So Nia and Vanessa meet up at Vanessa and Marcus's house for a little one-on-one girl time and talk and all that good stuff. And they're trying to find a movie to watch. So while they're talking, Nia basically talking about how she feels a little distant from her boyfriend and that the cyber sex ain't getting it like it used to. It ain't what it was. And so Vanessa was like, you thinking about cheating? And so she was like, no. And so she was like, Terrence still fine. And so she was like, even better. So apparently he looked better than what he looked like when she was with him before they broke up for whatever reason. And so she was like, look, I ain't trying to cheat or whatever. I love my man. Y'all, so it got to the point where Vanessa told Nia that she had been seeing Bryce some more. And so she was like, wait a minute, I thought you only saw him one time. And so she was like, no, I've seen him a couple more times. So she was like, if anybody should be able to cheat is you. And apparently she's only been with Marcus. That's the only person she's been with. She's been with him since she was in high school, on and off, I guess, or just been with him continuously, but he has been out here cheating, so. Lord. But it was funny how Nia was talking about, don't you wish that, don't you know, she said something about how she wished that Terrence was raggedy so she would have a reason to go home with her panties on straight. Because both of them had basically thought about cheating. And I'm like, oh gosh, don't do it. Don't do it. So Vanessa did what she kind of promised Bryce that she would do. Bryce, of course, again, y'all, is the guy she went to law school with. She promised that, they would hang out and, discuss the wine and her winery and all that stuff. So they went to the winery. And they had finished talking about whatever they had talked about, y'all. They brought us in at the end of it. And he wanted to know, like, when it was going to be ready and what kind would she want to try to sell. And so she was saying, like, it'll be done, like, the end of this year or the end of next year or something like that. Whenever it was, she was going to open it. And she told him what she wanted the flavor profile to be. And then it got to the point where he kissed her, and then she was like, yeah, I can't do this. I got to go. And he was like, no, please, I need you to stay. I want you to stay. And she got up and left. I was like, oh, no. So for some unknown reason, Nia decided that it was a good time for her to just be the one to drive herself and MJ to the party. And she's terrible. MJ was like, what's wrong with you? Because I think he thought that she could drive, but she can't. And so she eventually told him that Terrence taught her. And so he was like, oh, so he can't drive either? I thought the hardest part of this would be getting in the party, not getting to it, or something he said like that. Y'all, I was so tired. It's too much. It's too much. But anyway, so they walk up thinking about to get in, and then the bouncer told them that they're at capacity and nobody else is allowed in. So they all mad. They talking about, I'm tired of chasing stuff like this. So dead end after dead end after dead end, especially after their story is dead in the water because of her. So, oh well, I don't feel sorry for her. Y'all, this is sad. So tell me why Vanessa and Marcus are at the house eating dinner together, right? He over here looking like, oh, I'm stuffed. All right. And he look at his phone, doing the most, looking at his phone. And of course, he got to go. And so he talking about he got to go meet up with, what's his name? Kareem. I guess that's his friend name, y'all. I can't. And so she was like, this late? And he was like, it's not that late. It's not going to take me that long. I'll be back. And I'm just like, so then as soon as he walked off, she asked the nanny if she could stay over a little longer because she's doing everything. Like, she was clearing the table then. And so she was like, can you stay over a little bit? Because I think I got to run out. I'm going to have to run out somewhere. And so she was like, si, senora. So I was like, oh, Lord. Is she going to follow? Yeah. Hopefully she don't get hit in the head and all this other stuff no more. We'll see. Oh, my God, y'all. I stand corrected. Oh, boy did go to meet up with his friend. But while he was there, apparently he knew what was about to go down, meaning that he was actually trying to mentor and, give little pointers to boys in the hood that are actually trying to, play basketball and all that other stuff. He rolled up in his car, right? Lamborghini or whatever it was, rolled up in his car. And so he announced who he was and all that. He rolled up and he gave them all kinds of gear. And so it got to a point where he was just standing up there feeling like a fool and looked like he was going over in his mind how things were supposed to be and how Marcus is reaping all the benefits and doing the things that he imagined himself doing before the injury happened. And he's just looking like, he is so mad. I'm like, oh no. MJ ended up calling Nia and was like, look, you need to put your face on. There's a after party type situation going on and somebody put us on the VIP list to be able to get in so we can get in. And so she was like, nah, I'm in for the night. I look a mess, whatever. So he was like, look, you need to do this. Go ahead, do what you need to do, get ready. So she was like, okay. So she said, give me an hour. He was like, what? 10 minutes, I'm around the corner. I was like, oh my God. Y'all, so anyway, y'all, Vanessa got some balls in her life. She got some cojones all of a sudden. She done rolled up to Bryce's house. Because, for so long, I'm going to go meet up with my friends. I'm going to go meet up with my teammates has been code for. It's time for me to go screw all the people I want to screw and do what I want to do. So she done rolled up to his house. So, yeah, the most is about to go down. Tell me why MJ and Nia got into that party, because Layla was the actual person who put them on the list to get in. So Nia was upset about that. Oh, girl, every time she sees them, she always want to hug them. And she just be looking at her like, I don't want to be nowhere near her. Why would you do this? So, apparently that party is full of so many famous people. And you don't have to do anything to get close to them, to talk to them. They will talk to you like a normal person, as if you're not a celebrity. Even though they're not celebrities, they'll just talk to you. You don't have to be like, oh no, let me look down on you because I'm a celebrity and who are you type of situation. So they're up in there. They've been seeing people. Oh, girl said that she shared her lotion with Tracy Ellis Ross. I was just like, y'all doing a lot. But anyway, y'all, so they're about to start going around and seeing who's there, see what they can get. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to get some kind of a scoop since she's not trying to pick up that story dealing with Layla and Marcus. So the aftermath has happened between Marcus and Kareem. Kareem, like I said before, he was upset, and Marcus apparently didn't even know he was upset about it. And so he was like, I got a thing going on here. You messing up what I got going on. Didn't nobody need you to come up here. Didn't nobody need your help. So he was like, I'm just trying to get back. And he was like, they don't need your help and all this other stuff. They don't need to be like you. What you think they want to be like you? They don't want to be like you. You're a cheater. You are all the, just said all these things that he is, and was like, I'm not covering for you anymore. And all this other stuff, like, went off. They got into a fist fight, and Kareem ended up walking away, and Marcus called for him, and of course he kept going. Y'all, the detective was still following him. Y'all, and the black dude again, y'all, I don't know what was wrong with me earlier, how I didn't see that. The other guy that's following them as well is Terrence, Nia's ex. So apparently he's a police officer. He's a police officer, and I'm just like, oh, wow, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Because I was like, well, dang. Your actual boyfriend seems to be able to get information pretty easily. I don't know. So that's what it is. That's how he's been able to get a lot of the things that he's been getting, because he's following up on things that are going on. And so the detective saw him. Apparently he saw him the first time. He rolled up on him. He got in his car and was like, yeah. So, officer. They greeted one another, and he wanted to know why was he following him. And he kind of tried to laugh first, was like, oh, ain't nobody following you, whatever. He was like, this is not my first time seeing you. This is like my second time seeing you, or whatever. And so he was like, you want to make homicide, don't you? And so he was like, yes, I do. And he basically wants him to give him all the information that he has so that he can continue doing what he's doing. And he wanted to know what was his connection to Marcus. And he was like, I ain't got no connection to him. You know what I'm saying? My connection is to the friend of his family. And, you know, of course he didn't out who the person was, but he kind of made it clear, like, you need to give me the information that you have if you want to continue to go up that ladder. So we're going to see what Terrence do. Terrence might sit up here and not follow through with anything, especially since it seems like they're not going to become a thing unless she kind of cracks under pressure. So yeah, y'all. So of course MJ and Nia are still at that party, but Nia is not used to being up past a certain bedtime, so she's falling asleep. And MJ ain't here for it. He done hit her and told her that she need to wake up. And old girl Layla comes over and she's like, Cardi B is gonna be in VIP whenever she gets here. And they don't have, you know, VIP passes and all that good stuff, right? So trying to figure out how they're gonna get in there. So she finally arrived, and Layla was like, look, I got y'all, we can get in, because they trying to get a story. They know something is going to pop off, so they want to get their story on Cardi B. So she proceeds to take them somewhere, wherever VIP is. So maybe she'll be able to get them in. I don't know. So anyway, back to Vanessa and Bryce. Vanessa ends up making out with Bryce, and eventually they have sex. It is implied they have sex, and especially given the fact that the preview next time tells us from her own mouth that she actually did have sex with him, because she told Nia that. So anyway, y'all, in a way I'm happy for her, but in another way I'm like, girl, you just should have left him a long time ago. I don't understand. And you can tell, I mean, in my humble opinion, you can tell that she's not with him for the money or the fame and any of that, because she was with him long before any of that happened, and before the baby, all that. But she just kept sticking by his side throughout all the cheating. Why? I don't know. He's the only person she's been with, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to sleep around, whatever. But I just wish she would have experienced life a little bit more, since she is just so sheltered. It's just her demeanor. There are people that I actually went to school with who only had sex with one another. They were their only sex partners ever in life, and they got married, they had kids, they love each other, nothing is boring for them. Whatever, that's fine. But some people, they act as if the world is going to end, and if they don't end up screwing everything that moves. But yeah, y'all. Anyway, that was the review. I'm sorry for it being so long. It's just so many things that happened, and I wanted to make sure I covered them. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good evening, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.